The anime meta is in full swing. It's super hot right now, and there are so many projects coming out that it's so hard to keep up. Now, I can't say I've looked at all of them, but here are two that I've found that I think have good, strong, solid teams that could actually do well. Now, first up is Otaku Club. Now, this has sort of almost just over 11,000 followers on Twitter, but the main reason that I bring this up is that the founder of this is Riz. Now, the reason that I kind of bring this up is the fact that I actually spoke to Riz about this in sort of early January. This is before the anime meta kind of kicked off. Before Azuki dropped. And the idea is like, this is what he's been doing and what he's wanted to do for a long time. So I spoke to Riz about the concept. Now, to say that I was kind of advising or consulting isn't the right term, but I was there definitely kind of like reassuring him on what he actually wanted to do and how he actually wanted to kind of move and run the project. So the fact is, from before this has even been launched, I've been across this project and what he's wanted to do. He's actually gone through multiple different variations of what the artwork should be to kind of get it right and get something different. So for me, this actually comes from a point where I actually know quite well about the sort of the founder of the project. And then like, look, he's fully doxed. So this is in his Twitter account. You can actually head over and check out his kind of media account. So this is Riley here, so Riz, and what he does is he's from Sydney, and he also kind of does a lot of media and things like that. So anyway, back to the project itself. It is a 2000 collection at 0.1 ETH each, and the artwork is not the kind of straight front on or straight profile sort of side on view, which is pretty cool. Now look, yes, the art is cool, but here's a breakdown of what you get and kind of what the roadmap is. Now you're going to get access to the digital origin story. You're also going to get access to 3D print ready files of the main characters of the story. You're then going to get all of the digital files for the actual sort of books, the mangas themselves, and then you can actually opt to then pay for a hardcover, so a physical copy of them, and then they're also going to be updating this with kind of merchandise, streetwear, things like that. And then what they're also going to be doing is the community is then going to be having voting powers on what they actually want to do for making vinyl toys. So the idea is that the main characters, they're going to choose the characters that they want and then make up these vinyl toys, which will then be sent to the holders for free. And to touch on the 3D files, Riz has actually gone out and made this. Now look, full disclosure, when I saw Riz kind of posting little sneak peeks of this, I was like, hey bro, can you send this out to me, because I'd like to kind of see it and hold it, just because I thought it would be kind of fun and a little bit cool to kind of get it and just show it off in the video. So this is what I kind of mean when it comes down to 3D print sort of ready files. The idea is that you'll be able to take these and kind of go get them printed off anyway. Now this is not going to be sent out to holders. This isn't going to be sent out to people free of charge. This is just part of it. But later on, when they actually decide what characters to actually kind of get made, then they will be made in a mass production sense and then sent out to holders free, which I think is a really cool touch. So I think this is pretty cool. Like, the fact is, Riz is actually going out and going very hard on trying to ensure that this is done the way that he wants and done in a way that he would like to consume, because he is a big fan of anime, he's a big fan of manga, and he actually wanted to make something that did make sense and was able to kind of grasp the kind of project that he was wanting to see in a project. Now, jumping over onto the Discord, they've got sort of 2,300 members in their Discord, so with the 2,000 supply, it's going to be quite good. And I will touch on this and say that Riz has been very sort of selective in how he actually wants to engage with the outside community, because he really wants this to be community driven. He doesn't necessarily want people coming in to do these flips. He wants people that are coming in that actually want to be within this and kind of evolve the story and move that on further. I'm having a look at some of the sneak peeks. The art is super detailed, super cool, and I do think it lends itself to some of that streetwear aspect, especially when you're kind of looking at what they're kind of doing here. And you can see the model that he sent out here. So I am so excited with this project, just because it's coming from a place of passion. It's coming from a place of wanting to execute it right. He could have launched this sort of at the height of that first Azuki run, but he didn't, because he wanted to make sure that the art was right. He wanted to make sure that the manga was right. He wanted to make sure that he lined everything up to execute it correctly, and I think that is very noble. And without kind of sounding very cliche, it's a very Australian thing to do, wanting to ensure that you've got everything covered to actually kind of deliver on the promises that they make. Now, obviously, you need to do your own research. This is not financial advice, but when it comes down to Otaku Club, this is the kind of project that I'm actually kind of excited for because I've built this relationship with the founder over a period of time before he's actually done it. Now, what I would do is I would suggest going onto their Twitter account, watching this, seeing what happens, because they are going to be doing some giveaways. And full disclosure, I am on the whitelist, but saying that I've been in on this project before it was the project that we know today. But I will most likely be doing some kind of giveaway on Twitter. But yeah, please follow on Twitter, see the momentum that's building up. And if you are into this, this may be a good project, kind of jump on, research, and kind of be there on Mint Day. Now, the next project that I want to touch on is Metakami. Now, I actually got hooked up with the founder of Metakami, May, by my boy Ryan D. So Ryan D hooked me up with the founder of Metakami so I could kind of find out a little bit more about this project. Now, what I can say here is that their promos are absolutely insane. They've gone very hard when it comes down to this project. They're trying to be very professional in how they're actually approaching this project, which I think is very smart. Like the promo that we're watching here, it is insane. It shows that they've actually got a team that can execute on something that fits the theme and the genre of what they're doing. So they've got almost 26,000 followers on Twitter and it's starting to gain a little bit of a buzz and some momentum. Now, what I also think is cool about this project is, like I said, they've got all of their promotional aspects lined up because they really want to ensure that this project pops off well and it's actually taken seriously. So the website is on point. But then also when I spoke to May, she actually was like, hey, do you want to check out the deck? And I'm like, okay, cool. I'd love to check out like a pitch deck. And this is also another aspect that just leads into showing you the professionalism that comes into the project. The fact they've got a pitch deck, which kind of runs through what it is. And it's an 8,888 collection, anime collection. But what is really cool, it is a woman-led project. So with this female-led team, it really starts to tick some of those boxes. And then when you kind of get into it, we've got May, Linda, Yutong, Katori, and sorry, I'm butchering these names. In Bully, and the only sort of male on the team is Penanthi. And the idea is that this is a female team and they kind of want to incorporate sort of their experiences, their kind of sort of idea when it comes down to manga, because these are hardcore fans when it comes down to what anime manga is. So this makes sense for them. And I think this is really good because it's a nice touch point and it's able to kind of onboard some females into the space as well, because they know that this is a female-led team and it is something that may not have been represented in the past with what we've done, which I think is very important and very cool. When we have a look at the Discord, they've got almost 15,000 in the Discord, and it's got everything that you'd expect in a Discord. And then have a look, all the sneak peeks here. This one was up around 24 hours ago and it's got a decent amount of reactions when it comes down to the sneak peeks. I think the artwork's cool, and I think the team behind it also kind of help propel and tell this story, because the founder of the project, May, she's very charismatic. She knows exactly what she wants to do and she knows how to communicate her vision quite well. When I asked about the extended roadmap on Metakami, the idea is they want to turn it into, and she even said it herself, she goes, I hate using the word brand, but she wants to turn it into a brand which then has the things like merchandise. So when you get sort of the physical collectibles, when you actually have sort of physical sort of printouts, mangas, things like that, they actually want to turn this into a proper brand that can actually kind of sustain itself and not just kind of go with the wind and see where things goes. They've got somewhat of a clear direction, but understand that there can be deviations in it. And after you speak to May, you kind of understand the enthusiasm that she has for actually putting the team together to actually execute the vision that they actually want, which I think is really cool. So with Metakami, I think this project, so just kicked over to 26,000. I think this project is definitely worth kicking on and having a look at Discord. So you got May here, 6,500 followers. Now look, the reason I think Metakami has a bit of a runway as well as opposed to other projects is the fact that they're coming at this from a very professional aspect. They've got all the things that you want to see in a real world business. They've got all the promotional aspects set up. The branding's on point and they're really good. They're also making good connections. The fact is, so Ryan hooked me up with a talk with the founder. She also had a talk with Amir from Dark Echelon. She's had a talk to me. So the fact is, they're making good connections and the right moves in the space. And if you've got a founder that is very charismatic, that's able to kind of make those sort of connections and calls, and you've got people like me that are kind of impressed with the interaction that you have, you end up with a good a good foundation for a project being able to run up. So when it comes down to the anime meta in the space right now, those are two projects that I'm currently looking out for: Otaku Club, and we've got Metakami. Now, I know that there are so many out there. There are so many cool things. I know there's people going to be jumping in the comments going, oh, but what about this one? What about this one? These are the projects that I've been able to kind of speak to the founders, and I've actually got a bit of an understanding about where they want to go with the project, and that's why I wanted to bring this to you. I'm not saying that these will sort of succeed 100%. I'm not saying that these will kind of sort of sell out and run up sort of 5x after mint. The idea is I've done my research here and I'm just presenting you what I've found and what I kind of understand when it comes down to the project, because I feel like that is how you can then make informed decisions to actually decide if you want to spend the time doing extended research, doing a bit of digging and seeing if this fits in with the kind of project that you would like. So hopefully you found value in this video. If you did, please consider hitting up that subscribe button. While you're down there, also hit up the like button. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.